Hi, are you hoping, wishing, praying that someone come and rescue you from your present circumstances? Well, don't be surprised if a villain jumps into your court. Yeah. Hi, my name is Bonnie. Welcome back to my channel, Healthy Done My Way. Today, we are going to discuss rescuer or villain. But before we get started, allow me to set the scene. You're feeling stuck, overwhelmed, wanting and wishing that someone would just come and rescue you. So you start looking for that individual to fix your problems, to help make decisions, and even take over the wheel for a while. But here's the problem with that. You see, that rescuer can sometimes show up as a hidden villain, taking over and making you feel powerless. Why does this happen? You're right, You know what, Rebecca? I'm so glad you're so glad you asked that question. There are three patterns that sometimes we allow ourselves to fall in, and one being power dynamics. And this is when we give up our power, and then that leaves the door open for someone else to come in and take control, and then leaves you feeling like you have no way out. And then there's the second pattern, and that is the drama triangle. Characteristics, these are, well, what psychologists describe this as this. It is a cycle where an individual plays the victim, someone else comes along and be the rescuer, and then before you know it, eventually that rescuer becomes a villain, taking over, and now you're feeling even more stuck. Not only are you feeling powerless, but you're feeling stuck, and again, no way out. And then the third one is familiar patterns. Most people are drawn to things that feels familiar. Rather, it can be unhealthy. It can even be unhealthy things. So if you're this person who likes to be saved, then don't be surprised if you don't notice or you haven't noticed when the rescuer turns into a villain and start taking control. And then you're in this position where, how did I get here? Oh, yes. Oh my goodness. I'm having flashbacks. Okay. So so how do we know the rescuer? So here's the thing. You have to ask the question, how do we know if the rescuer is a villain in disguise? There are red flags. So I'm glad you asked that, Rebecca. And one being is that they like making decisions without asking you, without consulting you. They do things and produce things that you have no say in. The next one is they get upset that you want to stand on your own. You start asking questions. You start wanting to be part of the decision making of your issues because you want to make sure that you have input, that you are driving the wheel now because you want to be able to build that confidence. And we're going to get to the confidence thing. But controllers and oppressors, what they do is they expect you to be grateful at all time. And of course, you are grateful, but then there comes a time where, okay, I can stand on my own. Let me do this myself. Or I need to be part of the decision making process. And what the oppressor or that villain does is he or she more or less say, I'm only trying to help you. Does that sound familiar? Hmm. Yeah. So, how do we keep that villain out of our court? Well, we can start by working on our confidence, problem solving, and becoming our own self advocate. And those are intertwined. And with the confidence piece is that how I were able to free myself and build a better relationship, had to start with my confidence. And what did that look like for me? I looked at the fact I identified my the area that I didn't have that much confidence. I pinpoint that area that I needed growth in. And then I recognized that area, I recognized where I felt comfortable. What was my comfort zone? In that, I mean, I would, okay, where do I feel safe? That is part of this area I need to change. And what part of this area outside of my comfort zone that is challenging? And after I did that, I also went to the third level in terms of creating a plan and how I needed to do that. But I couldn't create the plan until I did some research into what I needed to do and what was the issue, what I needed to do on my part to start moving forward. And even in the planning process, in the research part, I started to build my confidence. I started recognizing, hey, I can do this. I see progress. And then from there, I said, okay, I know the area that I need to, I recognize my comfort zone. And how can part of my action plan was step a little bit outside of my comfort zone, just a little bit each week. And one of my issues, I had quite a few, but one of them was I needed to study for a certification for health and wellness coaches. But my problem was, and I found out my root cause, my problem was I couldn't sit down for no more than 10 minutes. So, with the problem solving piece, I recognized the problem, I analyzed it, I did my research, and then I looked for the root cause. The root cause, again, was not being able to sit down for no more than 10 minutes. And after doing my research, I was able to find this coach on YouTube whereby she would say, just start small. And we hear that often, but not this small. She said, just take 5 minutes, just take 15 minutes, 20 minutes, or something like that. I couldn't even do 15 minutes. I kid you not. I couldn't do 20 minutes. She said, take 20 minutes and just set aside and do that, set a timer. So I said, okay, well, how can I fit that into my situation? And I'm going somewhere with this, so please bear with me. And so I thought, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I know I can sit down for 10 minutes and study, but what if I add, what, 3 minutes? And then I got comfortable with that. I set a timer. And here's the thing, because I knew the timer would go off, I didn't wasn't keep watching, looking at my watch. Not that I wear a watch, but the time. And then the next 3 days, I think, I said, okay, let me add it to 5 minutes. And then when I went to 10 minutes, and then I went to 20 minutes. You see how that works? And my confidence was just building and building. And I realized, wait a minute, not only am I raising my confidence level, but I'm problem solving. So I'm making my point here. I'm problem solving. So I realized I can problem solve. I can problem solve. So I was able to, in other areas of my life, I started in this area, which was some may consider minute, and brought it into the bigger area of problem solving, having confidence in myself. And before I knew it, I was moving outside of that. I need to be saved. I need to be rescued. I need help. And it's okay to ask for help. I ask for help when when I can't figure out things. I got part of the puzzle figured out, but I need help, and that's okay. But when you're seeking help, make certain just that the person is not only motivating you and encouraging you and inspiring you, and that's good, but more importantly, they are empowering you. They are equipping you to move on your own, to move outside of areas that may be challenging in a more of a courageous manner, if that makes sense. So that's what you might want to look for. And that if you are detecting a bit of control, pump the brakes. It's okay. Say something to the effect is, I really appreciate you helping me. And the information that you have provided is just priceless. And what I'm going to do is now I think I can run with it. And I'm so grateful to you. And just leave it at that. Because we have to set boundaries. We can do this. We have everything inside of us that we need to do what we need to do. And we just have to start moving out. So the bottom line, the moral to this story is this: it's okay to ask for help, but make sure that person is not controlling. And it's okay to pump the brakes and say, I got this. I can do this. I can take it from here. And this is how we can free ourselves from being that individual that just always needing to be rescued or saved. And have a better relationship, not just with others, but with ourselves, knowing that we can do this. So I think that's it. If you have comments, put it in the area below. And if you need me to make a video on anything else, just let me know. So thank you so much. Thank you for spending time with me, and I will see you the next time. Remember, healthy done my way, meaning your way. Bye.